Hey everyone, Laurel from GelMoment with Laurel, your independent distributor for GelMoment. In this video, we're going to do a quick tutorial on one of the nails of the Spider-Man set because there's a lot to this set. So for this design, I've decided to use Crazy for Blue with a hint of Midnight Walk, and also, for the red, I'm using Scarlet Slippers. I'm using the mini fan brush to do a ombre and bringing those two colors together. Now I've got the first coat down how I like it, so I'm putting it in for full cure. And then I'm on my second coat now using straight Scarlet Slippers. And then I'm going to change over to the blue, and the reason why I have the flat brush here is because I did a mixture on my palette of the Crazy for Blue with the Midnight Walk. I just put like a touch of the Midnight Walk into the Crazy Blue just to darken it up a little bit because Spider-Man's blue is a little bit darker than the Crazy for Blue. One great thing with gel polish is you can mix colors and you can make your own custom colors with all the different gel polishes. And then just tap, 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 get your ombre together. Sorry, I tend to go off screen sometimes. My apologies. So this is just part one. I'm going to do this set in 4 different parts. I'll do the thumb, and then the index finger, the middle finger, and then I'll do the ring finger and the pinky finger in a different video, just so you can watch different videos at your own leisure and you don't have to sit and watch for a very long time. So this is my third coat. I just did a quick cure, and now I'm using a little bit more of the Midnight Walk. I added more Midnight Walk into it, and I'm using the flatliner brush just to kind of give it a little bit more shading and make it look a little bit more line like the Spider-Man costume. And then I'm going to give that quick ombre with the brush here. And once I've done the bringing together of the colors, the red and the blue, I'm taking some of the red stiletto, which is a little bit of a darker red, and I'm using the pointed long dotting tool, and I'm dragging the red stiletto through the uncured Scarlet Slippers to kind of give that web effect in the I don't know, what is it? Is it a uniform costume? I don't know what it's called. The Spider-Man uniform. No, the Spider-Man costume, right? As you can see, the way that it's dragging out, it's blending in just nicely into the Scarlet Slippers, and it's looking quite shaded. I actually really like this. I don't know. What do you guys think? Does it look pretty cool? And of course, you want to make sure that you are definitely doing this when the polish, the surface polish, in this instance, the Scarlet Slippers, is wet. Because if you try to do this when it's been cured, it's definitely not going to mix into each other. It's going to be on the surface. It's not going to look good at all. And I'm also using the same dotting tool to get a little bit more of the Midnight Walk into the Midnight Walk and Crazy for Blue mixture to also give it the spider web effect with this this shading. It looks, I don't know, I don't even know if the Spider-Man costume actually looks like this, honestly, but I just thought it would look really cool. And of course, once you have it the way that you like it, throw it in the lamp. Make sure you give it a full cure. The long pointed dotting tool has so many uses. It's crazy. I'm going to go in future videos, I'm going to go over the creativity set and give you more uses. So once it's had its full cure, you want to use a buffer. This particular file is a 220 sponge buffer. And we're just making sure that that surface is nice and matte and there's no huge amount of gloss left on the nail, because if the surface is glossy, then the design's going to slide off basically, or it's going to separate. Now we're going to take some white stamping gel, and we're going to mix it with the white gel polish. In this instance, I'm using Meet Me at the Chapel just because I have a small bottle that I want to get rid of. You could also use Lovey Dovey or any other white that you have on hand. Now the reason why we're mixing it together is because the stamping gel is too thick, but the gel polish is too thin. So by mixing them together, it's going to give a good consistency, and also the stamping gel is more opaque and the gel polish is more translucent, so it also gives it a better consistency in opaqueness. So now I'm going to use one of the liner brushes. This one's the medium liner brush, and I'm going to saturate the brush with the mixture that we just made. So you want to make sure when you're loading the brush, when you're saturating it with the polish, you also want to take the brush and slide it across an empty spot on your palette to get the excess off, because you don't want to have too much on the brush. Now it's just making the web. So we're just going to drag the brush down through the nail, starting from the top, and we're just pulling out a bunch of different webs. So basically you're starting from the corner, and then you're just dragging out the brush, keeping it on the nail plate and just following through. You want to make sure that as you're doing it, you don't have any, any voids. You want to make sure it's a full line. You want to go from small to large and then kind of back to small again, so it looks like a live web. Or I guess live wouldn't be the right word. Realistic web would probably be a better word for that. Then once you have your base of the web down, the vertical lines, then you're going to make the horizontal lines, the crossing lines, to actually make your web. So you want a small detail brush. GelMoment does have a small liner brush or a petal brush, but I find that it's not quite detailed enough. So I do have a smaller detail brush that I use. I've actually mentioned that, a micro detailer would be great addition, and I put in my suggestion. Hopefully they will come. They will start carrying one. To do artwork, it is so much easier if you have a very small liner brush. This is called a micro detailer. I can leave a link below. Like I said, hopefully we will get one in our set or sold separately like the mini dotting tools. And if we do, I will definitely update this video and put in a link on where you can get the micro detailer if we start carrying it. So basically you're just using your brush, or even a toothpick would work here probably. I think it would still be a little bit tough and you wouldn't be able to make as nice lines, but if you don't have anything else available, a toothpick or the smallest liner brush in the creativity set would also work. And then you're just kind of curving some lines to make that spider web. So I'm just speeding up the video a little bit here because it's kind of redundant. But then when you start getting closer to the end of the web, you want to make sure that you're finishing off the web. So as you can see here at the very tip of the web, I'm making sure that each tip joins to the other tip. So it looks like it's a completely finished off web and that there's no question that the web is finished. And you can do what you can to make sure that it's nice and rounded and that the ends are pointed and look as finished and as nice as possible. You can see I'm dragging the brush in a half circle motion and bringing it to a nice point to make sure that it's finished. You can see there's a little bit of a void there, so I'm just filling that in and bringing that point out and making it a little bit more predominant. And I'm going to do that with a couple of the ends here, just making sure that the web is nice and opaque and that there's some nice pointed edges. And then, of course, once you're done, you want to give it a full cure and then top it with a clear coat. In this case, Clearly Frisky by GelMoment, and give that a full cure as well. I hope you enjoyed today's video. There will be 3 more parts to this set, so stay tuned for those 3 parts. And subscribe. Please subscribe to watch more content, and hopefully I can give you some ideas, some tips and tricks, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.